Stampers, it's Kim Vogel with the Basement Bunch Stampers, and today I'm going to showcase for you how to make some cute little scissor charms using some shrink film and our custom tee and t-shirt builder framelits and stamp set out of the Occasions catalog. I'm going to bring these in so you can see them a little bit closer. Isn't that just adorable? This one says Happy Stamper. And I'm making these, I'm doing a huge fundraiser for cystic fibrosis, and this is going to be one of the little gifts that I give all of the ladies in attendance. So I'm making some that say Happy Stamper, and then I'm making some that say, pick it up here, 1 in a million. And those are going to be little scissor charms that I give them to put on their pairs of scissors. So I'm going to show you today how I made them. They're very simple to make and actually quite fun to make. So I ended up finding on Amazon some shrink film. I went with the inkjet shrink film in inkjet white. I wanted the white and not the clear so that I could stamp on it and it would show up. This comes 6 pieces to the pack. I'm not sure how much it was, but it was really rather inexpensive. And I'm able to make, because the t-shirt stamp on one piece of paper 16 times, so it makes quite a few scissor charms. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm going to actually pull this out of the way, and I'm going to bring the catalog in here and show you exactly what products I'm going to be using today to make those shrink film scissor charms. So I am using this stamp right here out of the custom tee. I'm using this stamp. I'm going to actually use the, where is it here? The Happy Stamper, that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to use that stamp on it. And I'm using this little flower, these little flowers right here to add onto the shirt. And then I'm going to be using one of these framelits to actually cut that out. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring in my stamping mat because I'm working with photopolymer stamps. I like to be able to stamp on, yes, I know mine's very dirty, very well used. And so what I did is I actually cut that shrink film into 6 strips. These are 2.5-inch strips. I'm able to get 4 of the t-shirts on there. So I'm going to go ahead. My ink of choice that I used is Stays on Black. I just didn't want it to have any smearing issues, so I chose to use the Stays on Black versus the Archival. Usually I'm a big Archival fan. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up really good. I'm actually going to pick that right up. I want to make sure I get that inked really, really good. And I did just re-ink my pad, so it should work just fine. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp that on here. And I'm kind of pushing down pretty good with that. I want to make sure I get a good stamped image on this film. It's got a little bit of a coating to it, so the stamp kind of wants to slide, so you have to be really careful so that it doesn't slide on you. So there is the shirt. And then I used our Melon Mambo ink, and in Melon Mambo I stamped, oh actually I'm going to stamp the Happy Stamper first. So this is the Happy Stamper, and I also stamped that in Stays on Black. And I stamped that up near the top of the shirt. Push that down really good, get that on there. There we go. And then I used, let me get the black out of here, then I used Melon Mambo ink, and with the Melon Mambo ink, I stamped the little flowers all over. Now I went ahead and went outside of the lines on this because keep in mind when I cut this out with the Big Shot, oops, I didn't do the greatest there, but when I cut this out with the Big Shot, it's going to cut around that image. So I don't care if I go outside the lines because I'm not going to have that shown up on my final stamped project anyway. Now this does take a little bit of time to dry. So and you can't heat set it because if you try to heat set it, it's going to start to shrink on you. So you're just going to go ahead and put some of the flowers on there. And then what I would do, and I'm not going to actually do it because it's not dry yet. So I would suggest if you're making a handful of these or a quantity of these to stamp them all first and then cut them out. So what I would do is I would cut that out with a framelit, run it through the Big Shot on our magnetic platform. And like magic, I actually have one that's ready and done and dry. So it looks like this. So, and again, that's on that shrink film that I showed you previously. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to bring my samples of the little ones back in that I did so you can kind of see them again. Bear with me while I slide that back in here. So it's going to go from that size down to this size. It's pretty awesome. My girls think it's so awesome how that works. So the only thing you're going to want to do is if you want to add any kind of a ribbon to it or anything, you do need to punch it first. And I was using a smaller circle punch and found that that was not working because as it shrinks, so does the hole size. So this one, I'm not sure if you can see that very well. I'll bring it right in. You might not be able to. The hole on that is quite small. So I changed it and went with a bigger punch. And I'm actually using, I'm not sure what size it is, but it's actually an older punch that I have from Stampin' Up. But the owl punch has a circle you could use, or even a 1/2 inch circle probably wouldn't be too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and get them out of here, and I'm going to punch a hole into this right about here. I'm going to punch that out. There, it went flying. So yes, it looks really big right now. It's a pretty big hole. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to emboss this, and heat emboss it. And you're going to see that it's going to curl right around and curl right up. And then what it does is, as it starts to dry, it will actually, as it starts to get set, it'll actually start to flatten out again when it's done. So, and again, this might fly away on me. I've been having some issues with that. But I'm just taking a pair of tweezers and kind of holding it in that circle where I punched out to try to get it to not move around so much. So here we go. I'm using the Stampin' Up! Heat tool, and you will see this start to shrivel here in just a second, and it will curl right up. It's quite interesting how fast this happens. So here it goes. Okay, so you'll see it shrivel right up, and it goes right up into nothing really. And you're going to keep on heating it. I'm going to turn this around, and again, I'm going to keep on heating it. It'll keep on shriveling. And when it's all done, it'll start to go flat again, as it is right here. You can see that it's starting to go flat. And then what I do at that point is, before it dries completely, I have been, or I should say gets cool completely, I've been taking one of our cutting mats. I know lots of uses for those, right? And just kind of holding that on there so that it will get nice and flat the way I want it before it completely cools too much, and kind of, if it cools too much, it's going to be stuck in the shape that it's in. But there you have it. It's still a little warm, but there you have an adorable, cute little charm that you can make for scissors. You can make that for a pull on a bag. I'm actually going to make it for my team. I think they're going to actually absolutely love them. So anyway, that's what I wanted to showcase for you today, a cute little charm that you can make. And you could also do that. Think of all the different sports teams you could make little charms for, or little bracelets with their team colors. So anyway, thanks for stopping today. I encourage you to check out my website at www.kimsbasementbunch.com and sign up to receive all of my emails, so you'll get all the information regarding future videos that I do, as well as tutorials that I offer on my website. Thanks for stopping today, and come back again.